So hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I've come back to my local nature reserve this afternoon purely and simply just because it's a great place just to pick up a few compositions, and I've looked at the light, and although it's mid-afternoon right now, we've got virtually no light whatsoever and there's no definition in the clouds at all. So I decided that coming here was a good idea, just so that I could get simply just a few compositions. I might get some wildfowl birds while I'm here. I might get some intimate portrait style compositions, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to take a quick walk around now. I'm right at the beginning of the walk. Probably only take me about an hour to walk around, so there won't be very much video going on, but let's see what we can do. Come with me. So I had to work quite quickly here. I've stopped off at this little kind of opening at the side of the pond where you can look across the pond, and I was kind of taken by the way the colours of the leaves on the trees are starting to change and starting to come through and show through now. So I kind of wanted to stop and take a panoramic sweep of that area behind me across the other side of the pond. The only issue I have is that the pathways through this nature reserve tend to be quite narrow, and at the moment you can only really go one way because of lockdown restrictions and the pandemic, and they want to try to ensure that people aren't passing on pathways. So I've had to work quickly and try and set up the tripod and get the panorama shot fairly quickly. Whilst I was setting up, there was in fact a couple that walked past me, and I had to make sure I was right on the edge of the path, out of the way, so that they could get past without any problems. But I've managed to capture that panorama now, and I'll show it to you now. In the meantime, I'm going to move on and see if I can find something else a little way along here. So I've carried on walking around the nature reserve. I stopped off at one point to take a couple of photos. I managed to get another panorama, which was quite interesting because it was something I hadn't expected. I stopped off in a point where I've stopped before to capture some silver birch trees at the far end of the pond, and on this occasion I was stood there just trying to get out of the way, and I discovered that there was a possibility of a panorama with the reeds at the far end of the pond all made quite a straight line along the edge of the pond, and I wanted to capture that while I was there. It was unexpected, but I'm glad I took that photo. In the meantime, I've carried on around here, and as I get around to the other side of the pond, I've found a little cutting between some trees, and I've come and stood at the edge of the pond here. What I noticed was that there's a couple of branches and twigs and roots of trees sticking out from the ground just in front of me, and they are kind of sticking out into the pond itself, so they provide me with a leading line. But also there are trees on either side of the scene which are also creating a nice framework for the picture itself, and then it leads out into the pond and across to the other side of the pond. So what I've done here is, just behind me as you can see, I've framed up an image across that pond there, and what I'm trying to do is focus on various points within the scene itself and create a focus stack so that I can put together a pin sharp image of that particular scene as it is. But it looks good, so hopefully it'll turn out nicely, and here it is now. As I've been walking around here, it hasn't been possible all the time to be filming some of the things that I'm doing, purely and simply because this Nature Reserve does back onto an industrial estate behind me, and on a couple of occasions there's been guys in the estate operating heavy machinery, so you wouldn't have been able to hear what I was trying to say to you anyway, because I was very close to where the industrial estate was. But I'll still continue taking the images anyway, so hopefully you'll have seen the images by now. I'm just heading towards a viewing platform here in the Nature Reserve, and I've been here quite a few times before, and this is the infamous spot where I was recently very nearly attacked by a family of swans. So I'm going to go back there and have a quick look and see if there's any images to be taken there, but I don't think there will be. If there is, I'll put them up on screen for you now. So I'm at the viewing platform now, and there doesn't really seem to be anything new and interesting to show you since the last time I was here. But this is the very spot where I was trying to capture an image of a swan a few weeks ago, and an entire family of swans suddenly appeared and started barking orders at me. So I decided it was time to beat a hasty retreat from there. You may well have seen the video. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another video sometime soon. Bye for now.